Okay, it's finally time. I've been waiting for this package for a couple of weeks now. Came from DirectRC, not their fault. Their hub there for USPS is horrible right now. I think it's getting rebuilt or something. I don't know. At one point, they told me it was because of staffing, but then I read on Facebook, I think it was, that they're getting actually rebuilt, and that is just horrible. It went from Indianapolis uh, all the way over to Seattle, Washington, and then over to New Hampshire, where I am. For some reason, I don't get it. It got stuck out there for a while too. These are parts for the Rock Van, and also one part for the Arctos, and then a random part just to get free shipping. A T-Hunter body. No idea what I'm gonna do with that. I ordered the rear brass weights to go over the portals, the front brass weights, and the aluminum. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum portal boxes. Yeah, the steering linkage that should be for this CR18P, which I believe is the same. Haven't had any issues with it from what I've seen. And then, like I said, I got the one part for the Arctos is the front axle housing. Just to add a little bit more weight in the front. It's not a ton because it's just aluminum, but yeah, help a little bit. I believe that was it. Crazy, they don't even include any decals. This guy is finally going to be getting his parts that I wanted to put on. I also have some wheels for it. Some Injora brass inserts for those wheels. Some of the 3D printed inserts that I had on the Arctos I'm putting on this. And I had these Next Racing shocks on the Arctos all the way around, but they're too tall for me in the rear for what I like. So I put the stock ones back in the rear. I have the Next Racing 59 still in the front. And I'm going to put these on here and see how it sits. Might be a little too tall for it, but we're going to try it out. I already have them. They leaked a little bit, so I took them apart, cleaned them up a bit, emptied the shock oil, put some 60 weight in there. I don't stock. It looked like it was probably about 35, 40. I just put a little bit thicker so it doesn't throw its weight around as fast. And also to help with leaking. Other than that, they ran fine. They're smooth. Once you got to cycle them a couple times and they're fine. But we'll go from there. I'm going to do one side myself, and then I'll do the other side on camera just so you can see it, but there's no need for you to see it twice. It's just going to be a lot of extra time not needed. I also have, I just remembered, drive shafts, Venture 18 drive shafts. I believe that should fit this too. I was matching them up, didn't take them out of the package, and they look like they should be good. That's what I have on the Arctos. And then overdrive front portal gears for this, 20%. So I'll throw in one side of it, and then I'll come back and show you guys the rest, minus this, of course. That'll be with the Arctos updates later. A little sneak peek. I did do two of the wheels just to make sure that they were going to fit. They do stick out a little bit more than these stock, but that's fine. I might try to see if I can get a little bit skinnier hub, but if not, it'll just help with some side hilling and everything. I think it was 56 grams for these altogether with the brass insert, aluminum wheel, stock tire, and 3D printed insert. Stock with the plastic was only like 20, so 2.5 times or so the weight. So it should definitely help down low. I can feel a difference, huge difference. So I'll, like I said, do this side, and then I'll come back. All right, I got one side done with the portal boxes and the wheels, like I had already done. Did one side of the shocks. It's only like, I think, 6 millimeters longer, if I remember correctly. It's only going to be like about 6 millimeters longer. So we'll see how that goes. Doesn't seem a lot. It might help out with the offset of the wheels too, because they were kind of hitting the body a little bit more. Probably start out with the other two shocks on this side. The rear goes in completely fine. The front, I had to take off the lower shock spring perch off of the stock one, and then put it onto the Next Racing bottom because they did it differently on here compared to on the Arctos, as far as I could tell. Then again, it's been a little while since I... No, it's definitely different. Just a long screw goes through the shock, down through the ear, and through the link in the rear, and down to the other side. And the top is just a straight screw going through into the shock tower. On these ones, they have its own plastic shock tower, unlike the Arctos, which just goes straight onto the metal chassis. So there's no adjustment. The holes are there. Like if you're on like the Fury Tech like kind of platform, or probably like a regular CR18, you can kind of see them right here. All the holes, like there's a bunch of holes here, but you can't use them because of this. So if I need to end up lowering it a little bit, I might just trim this part of the plastic out on both of these maybe and bring them over. Like I said, I'm going to see how it is just like this first. These little caps, you just take it off with like the regular 7mm, like on a 1/10 scale. And then to 5mm for these on all like the 1/18 style trucks, Red Cat Ascent 18 and all that. So I just took this and popped it off. Like that. Just kind of twisted it off. And because we're going to be using the same bottom, I just took off. And you got to use the spring perch, like I said, on here. I just took the spring off so it wouldn't go flying. And take these off. Technically, you could use the actual perch itself on here, but it doesn't fit tightly on the bottom link shock end. So I just swapped over the other one too. This is I tried taking this ball out and putting it on it, but it's just they're just different size, just enough where it didn't want to fit on correctly. So I just take that stock one and feed it on. And then just back to doing that. I did feed these down a little bit, not a lot, on the front just to kind of help with the weight. I had to do that on the Arctos too, so I just figured I'd start off with it. If I don't need it, it's fine. These top screws, whenever I put them back on, I always try to make sure the big flat washer side is out and then the O-ring's on the inside. That way if the O-ring ever falls off or breaks, this is holding it in, whereas the O-ring is what holds it on if you have it the other way. And the screw is the same size pretty much as the hole, so it'll just your whole shock will just pop off. Just makes it easier. You take the hex off, take the pin off. And then portal cover. Make sure you swap over the bushing too. Sometimes it gets stuck in here. Then you don't take it out, then it's no good. that one stayed on the gear, so we're good to go. That one stayed in there. Gonna put a little bit of grease in there. Marine grease is what I use. Doesn't need a lot because it's a small guy. Just kind of wiggle it, twist it a little till it falls in. There we go. I just spin it. Make sure it's there. Stock screws back in. There we go. Rear's done. Front's a little bit trickier. Obviously, there's more stuff to do. We got the steering, got the portal box, and the cover. We'll take off the 4 screws. You're not going to end up using the front screws because it comes with the new ones. They're just a little bigger, I believe. Yeah, they're bigger. Not going to be using these gears. We need all the rest of it. Take the bottom C-hub screw out. And the top one's kind of annoying to get to. I just went through down by the shock. Oh, also, it was way easier for me to take the body off. I did the whole first half with the body on, but it was kind of frustrating. Then when I started to maybe take apart the front steering a little bit, I said forget it, and I just took off the whole body. It's just, there's a screw and a centering pin, a screw and a centering pin, and then, actually you can see it on here. It's right here. And I just took that out, then I put them back in there, and then there's 3, I think, 4. Yeah, 4 plugs to undo. I already had one of them undone anyways because of the stupid blinkers. So I just unplugged it already. Like I said, we're not going to be using this gear. Little itty bitty pin. You just try to use some needle nose pliers and keep it right next to it so I don't lose it. Take that stock one off. Aftermarket one in. Like I said, these are the overdrive gears. And then I will take off this section. Look at the steering at the end. Got to get this out with its big bearing. Little bearing on the front. Gear that we're not going to use anymore, that's the stock one. Overdrive gear. Put the bearing back on. There's already some grease on there, but I'm going to add a little bit more. A lot of it's just sitting in the box. It does, again, it doesn't need a lot. Just try to turn it as I squeeze it out. Get it a little spread out. Pop this back down in. And just line it up, pop it on. And there you go. And then you're going to have 8 new screws with that front portal box area. With that. Before I forget to put this in, actually, I'm going to, with these plastic hexes, you can put these on and they stay on. They click in pretty much, so you can put these on and not lose them. Do the same on this one. Sometimes it's easier to do with needle nose, but get these ones okay. There we go. Got one screw here and the other screw here. Put it on the get the whole portal box and everything put back in. Make sure you didn't lose the hats. They go in right here and right here. The hat part of it, the flat part, goes on the inside. That's what actually separates the C-hub to the portal box. Well, that was a horrible thing to do, to take that out. There we go. Get one of the screws ready. Feed in the axle shaft and just kind of twist. There you go. Twist till it falls into place. Usually start with the bottom, is the easiest. then go through the top. There we go. This was much easier with the body off. When the body was on, I was fighting it. So we got that. I already have this loosened up. This side's on because I was just trying to get part of it on already. Pop that over there. Be able to turn and get it this way. There we go. Starting linkages in and everything. There's 5 screws on the back. If you're swapping out the wheels, pops right out. Take that out. Stock foam. The stock foams are actually really soft and they were doing pretty damn good, but I just wanted to swap them out for something that's not foam, just to help with any water stuff. I go through a little bit of water, nothing crazy. These were some prototypes I had for the Arctos, so they're kind of strange because I was doing them fast, but they are still working fine. 2% infill on this one, and this one I think was 4% for the rear. It actually was made for a 1.2 wheel though, because it's for the Steelies, so it stretches onto these 1.3s, but they do go. And with these tires, they don't say they're directional, but there is a direction on them the way that they are. You can see right there. This dot, that dot, that dot, that dot, back and forth the same way, and then it goes like this. So I was kind of treating these like a swamper, having it this direction and going down with that dot kind of facing up when I do it. Forgot to mention, I've been hole punching them with I think it's a 2.5 millimeter. Yeah, pretty sure it's 2.5 millimeter. Just kind of go on both spots where the writing is. Put a hole. On the opposite side, put another hole. I actually forgot to do it on the other tire, so I will be taking that back apart. Okay, 1 disassembly and 2 assemblies later, I have vented tires because I forgot to vent the first one. There we go. Like I said, 4% in the rear, 2% in the front, and those are going to look really good, I think, on there. All right, so we got everything done except the drive shafts and steering. Don't need this anymore, just popped it off. Just a little ball in there. I'm keeping the stock servo for now. I've had no issues with the stock servo. That one does have a GDW in it, the Arctos, just because I had it laying around. It did not need it at all. The only thing I'm not too sure about with this, it came with 2 smaller plastic links, and I'm guessing that's to replace the stock ones here, but I honestly don't understand. Nope. I have no idea why it came with these. It came with these, and it came with some balls for, like the hollow ball and a ball end, but I don't understand why it would do that. Everything on here is 1.5 millimeter, and then they have the servo with the stupid Phillips screws on both of those. So I took the screws off the servo just to get that out of the way. I'm going to do the link bolt first. Let's use some needle nose pliers. And take that out. On the Arctos, I still have the stock servo mount, actually. I just never swapped it out. At the time when I bought it, this wasn't in stock. That's why I bought the FX118 steering links. I just didn't end up doing the mount. I mean, it works perfectly fine. The only reason I did it was because it was in stock, and I wanted to do metal links here. And this time, weirdly enough, they didn't have the FX118 links in stock. So I said, okay, I'll get this one. Pretty straightforward, it seems, so far. I thought it was going to be a little more involved because I saw those other links there. I thought maybe it pushed the link mount back more or something, but I'm not seeing it. So It did come with all new hardware, so I guess I'll just... Oh, gross. Why would you give me a Phillips? Yeah, I'll use the stock hardware. All right, at least that was a 1.5. How opposite is that? There we go. I would like to get the metal links eventually for the 4 links, front and rear. They just didn't have them in stock again. It seems like they're out of stock all the time for the good stuff. So frustrating. Oh, that's nice right there. Okay. That goes back on. I will not be using those screws, Phillips screws. It came with some screws here. Probably eventually change the servo, but I'll just wait till it dies. Bolted right on. No problem. The only problem I am actually seeing, though, is it pushes... Huh. I don't know why they would do that. Where the mounts are here, that's where the servo goes, stock. The servo goes... It's got to be at least 6 millimeters back farther. Well, now it hits the motor. Oh, here we go. Hitting the motor now. And aftermarket ones are usually a little fatter too, a little deeper, so it's going to be even worse. Why would they do that? And then, of course, I forgot to take that off, so I have to take it back off real quick. All right, there we go. Ooh, almost lost a screw. All right, put this back in. Now, what am I going to space it with? Ooh. Yep. The Next Racing shocks actually had these for the Arctos. I don't need them for this. Oh. Oh, yeah. That worked perfect. They put it right in line. Right there. I mean, as close as it's going to be by just a random spacer that I had for something else. All right. Drive shaft time. Let's see if these work. Oh, that's right. It's those stupid little Phillips. I'll be right back. I need to get little mini Phillips. All right, I'm back. Little Phillips, 2 millimeter plus. It's called. Well, that's what it shows on here. I don't know. It's so frustrating. It's 2025. Can we get rid of the Phillips stuff? There we go. You put some pressure on the drive shaft, push it to the side. I get to try to turn that. There we go. This drive shaft is like the size of it, so that's a little annoying. But oh, there we go. They would lift up and pull out. Only one drive shaft out. The struggle bus was real on that one. So frustrating. Anyways, to get this out, it's these sides of it down, but if you lift up, you're able to pull it off, push it in. It's on the right side output gear too. Don't want to put it on the other side because that's a counter-rotating shaft that you're using. And if you use the other one, it'll spin the rear axle in the wrong direction. All right, and drive shaft wise, we should be completely fine so far on the rear. It's a little shorter in stock, but it's completely fine. That's like the other stuff for the Arctos. Let's see here, a little 1.3. Yeah, so this is why I don't know if you can see it in there, but the output of the input are D-shaped. So if you get the Hobby Plus ones, last I knew at least, they are not. So they have a good amount of slot, whereas these, they don't. It's kind of like a SCX24 is the same way. They have a D slotted input and output. And you can get rounded ones, but they just have more slop, so not sure why. Well, no, I do know why. It's easier to make a round hole than a D hole. Sounds like I'm trying to call someone something. And I know people are going to say it's a small truck. It doesn't matter if it's phased or not, but phased drive shaft, it's always the best way to go. It's not about a speed thing. I understand that most people say it because of that, because you're going to have wobble. This is more just for a binding thing, for an angled drive shaft. I mean, this one doesn't have a lot of angle, but even that amount of angle, if it wasn't phased, you're going to feel wop, wop, wop as you turn. Yeah, might not do anything, but at the same time, you're putting stress on it for no reason. And sometimes it is too much stress, and people have found that phasing them will fix their issue. They're having a bunch of binding. And they're getting heated up motor, or, you know, stressed out motor or something. This one's going to be more annoying to get to. Yeah, get to it in there. All right, so I'm able to get to it right through here. It's still not going to be great. It's still going to be annoying. Mostly because of the Phillips, as usual. And again, front drive shaft, almost perfect length. A little shorter, but that's completely fine. Again, HPI Venture 18 drive shafts. Works on the Arctos and on this. I'm pretty sure it's widely known now, but definitely works on this thing. I feel like this thing's going to be a monster truck, and I'll probably end up having to put the stock shocks back on. I think we're good with that. Is that everything? I think that was everything. Oh, I had this slam wagon right now because I accidentally put it on the other side of the clip. Oh, goodness. Got that out. Now I get to guess which wire was which. Okay. Struggle bus for a bit there. By now, I have to figure out what each one plugs into. I forgot. All right, yeah. I should just put the battery in. Hold on. Headlights on. Taillights on. High beams on. Overhead light on. Then this would be the hazards. I don't want hazards, so I'm good to go. So the 2-pin wire goes in the second one over here. There's a 4-pin, it has to go over here. And this 2-pin one goes right here. Honestly, these are all labeled wrong, I believe, compared to what it should be. Because that says it should be left hand. I think. This says it should be F for forward light, I think, and forward light, which that is the forward light up top. So that should have a 2-pin connecting going over there, I would think. This has right hand, so that should be the right hand blinker. Honestly, I don't know how it's doing the blinkers. It's just because of this 3-wire piece here, so it must be just ground, power, or something. I don't know. Either way, blinkers are disconnected because blinkers are stupid. The only thing left to do is I got to swap out this connector. Because I hate JST. I hate the micro loci. So I will be right back. Okay. Got the JST plugs and everything. I have a couple kits like this. Just has a bunch of the DuPont and GST type plugs or whatever for servos and everything. Crimpers. I always grab batteries to make sure I have the connections right. Just chop off that stupid plug. Just trim off a little insulation. Doesn't take much at all. This side's the male pin side. Got that. And I usually kind of plug the battery in and then make sure I got the positive and negative right. I don't know how many times I've put in the wrong side because I wasn't paying attention. This goes in until it clicks. There we go. Plug a battery in just to make sure. Yeah, we're good. And the battery, same thing. only cut one at a time. That way you don't cross them by accident. So if you do, that battery will be junk probably. And again, just to make sure I put them in right. Yeah, ground's on that side. Pop them in. A lot of times I gotta put, there we go. Now it's in. Then just do the other side. Another lot, there we go. Right in. A little click. There we go. Get rid of this stupid low C micro plug. Really don't understand why they use those. I'll have to grab a zip tie after I'm done here and clean that up, but I'll keep the battery in a stock location for now. The batteries are so small, I don't know if it's really going to matter. I'm trying to readjust. I might try to do something with some sliders or something. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to design a magnetic mount for this, because I can't stand these stupid little clips on the bottom and the back. My hands are so big trying to get them in there. But yeah, there's the truck. Thinking those wheels look pretty good. A little taller, but not too bad. Springs are definitely stronger, I guess. Definitely lifting it up. I don't know. I figured I'd try them out, see how they do. If not, I'll toss the stock ones back on. I mean, maybe... Yeah, I mean, it's just a little taller, just so light in the back. And the front has the motor and everything. But, I don't know. But that's it. I forgot to weigh it before doing all this. But 776 grams. So I'm not sure what it was stock, but I had a good amount. I mean, wheels alone were 2.5 times the stock. So I mean, there's 100 grams there alone in wheels, plus you got the brass and everything, and the steering link, drive shafts. Let's see, what's my Arctos at? It's 1114. So, but I mean, you have an extra axle, huge bed, extra frame, extra drive shaft, everything. So, yeah, there's a difference. So 774. Well, I'm gonna clean up this and everything, and I'll get out on the rocks and get some of the footage for you, and then I'll come back and let you know what I thought of the updates. All right, back from the rocks. Did really good compared to stock. I think that the biggest problem I had was the 59 millimeter shocks. I actually ended up, as soon as I got home, taking them off and putting the stock length back on, which is like 53, I believe. They're just a little too long. It sat higher. I think the spring rate's higher. If I pushed it down, it would sit okay for a while, then it would slowly creep back up. I did put thicker fluid in these to try to stop it from like lifting up and squatting on a hill. These just worked so much better articulation wise for the van for me when before. Weight wise, it stayed pretty planted. I could do definitely some steeper inclines than I did before. Um, so I ended up just putting the stock ones back on. I've never had a problem with them leaking on the Arctos before I did the next racing. Um, I've had good luck on the Fury Wagon. Still runs the stock ones. I put thicker weighted nose ones just because they're angled more, but it's been great. So I got the wheels on there. We did the rear brass portal cover, front portal cover, aluminum portal box in the back, steering linkage, drive shafts, servo mount down in there. Stock servo still was completely fine with the weight on it today too. The foam, the anti-foams, what do you want to call them, the 3D printed inserts that I made definitely helped. I could see the squish coming down, going up over everything, grabbing. These are, a little firmer. Helped it not dig down. I was going up a hill, it seemed. Been great. Like I said, the JST that I put in, so much better. I hate those stupid micro plugs. Plus, I have a ton of extra JST batteries, so yeah, not dealing with that. All three of these got swapped instantly. The only thing I'm thinking about doing with this, and I had bought it originally for an SCX24, was I might go brushless just for the little bit better down lower control. It runs fine as it is, but with the added weight, I think I did notice a little bit of hesitation going up hills and whatnot. And what I was thinking of throwing in, possibly, is this big kid tiny truck icing V2 motor. It's a little guy, but this is around the same size, I think, that you put in for like the Hobby Wing Mini 16, a little bigger, but it's actually meant for 16 scale. But this size, I think people put in a good amount. Actually, you know what? I just remembered. Look how small that is. And it runs completely fine. And that's actually a little bigger. So it should fit perfect. Big kid tiny truck. That's dust. Then also an Escape 32 from him. 25 amp do-it-yourself kit. So that's probably one of the next things I'll put in here, I think. I was going to put in the Arctos possibly, but I might throw it in the Rock Van. I have a bigger brush motor. Maybe I'll throw in the Arctos. It was off of an Ascent 18. And then I put a brushless into that. So I might try to see if that'll fit into there. This put into there. And go from there. But yeah, it performed great. The wheels make it look so much better. I'm not a big fan of black wheels. I don't mind these if they were something else, and then maybe put some like a ring in there. But just not a big black wheels fan. I have it on a couple trucks, but not many. But yeah, it's definitely worth doing the upgrades, I think, for this. Definitely a little more planted. Didn't pop around as much, didn't bounce around as much. Just to go over what I used today. It's an Endura stainless steel drive shafts for the Venture 18. This part number makes absolutely no sense. It must be an Endura part number, but if you look up Endura Venture 18 drive shafts, you'll find them. I'll link them down below. These are the overdrive portal gears, 20%, 240388 from Hobby Plus. I get most of my stuff from DirectRC. This I ended up getting from Heli Direct at the time because that's where I got the truck, because I had a coupon, so just made it a little cheaper. But I do have an affiliate link for DirectRC, and I'll put that down below and all the part numbers for this. So 240388 for the portal gears. A servo and axle mount and steering link set for the CR18P, which is all this ecosystem. HBP 240299. Rear portal hub brass weights for the rear there section. HBP 240392. And this is the machined aluminum front portal hub set with the brass outer portal cover. HBP 240391. And I believe that was it. Yeah, that was all we did today on this, unless I forgot, but I think that's it. Those definitely made a world of a difference, though. When I figure out if I'm going to do this or not, I'll make another video. I believe that I'll probably end up tossing this in there. I think that'll be a good change. The low down control on these Escape 32s is amazing. And that one has the stock Fury tech, and that's fine too, but I just feel like the Escape 32 setup has been a lot better. But I think that's it for this one. I'll post up this probably, I don't know, hoping to get to it this week. It'd be nice to get us all done pretty quickly. But that's it for this one. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be making the magnet mounts hopefully this week also for this. This is just frustrating with these stupid little... I've already lost them. I just took them off too. That's how small they are. They just get lost. They just, oh, under a box. I guess that was my fault. Yeah. But those will be gone. That was one of my first things I wanted to do, and I just kept forgetting to do it. Well, there it is. There's my rock van. Loving this thing so much. These two are like my favorite mini trucks that I have. The SCX-24s, I have them, but I just don't really mess with them anymore. They are capable for some people, but to me, I just don't like the fiddly smaller sizes of it. I just do it just because I have them already. But that's about it for those. And it's just, I've been running towards these 18th scale trucks. Probably one of the next purchases I'll buy an 18th scale truck is going to be one of the FMS ones, I think, because I love my FMS FCX10 LC80 Pro, the blue Land Cruiser you see on the channel. So I want to try one of their 1/18th trucks. Oh, that's it for now. Have a good day.